The night it all fell apart. You always think things like that only happen on screen, those chaotic, cinematic nights where everything spirals out of control, tearing through friendships and wrecking relationships in the process. But a few months ago, I found out firsthand just how real and destructive one evening could be. We were a close circle. 4 couples, all in our late 20s to early 30s, living in the same suburban neighborhood, most of us working in tech or finance. We weren't just friends, we were family in everything but name. Backyard cookouts that stretched past midnight, weekend hiking trips, fantasy football drafts, holiday potlucks, that was our norm. My wife, Elena, and I had only been married a little over a year. Matt and Lauren were a few years ahead of us, already raising a 2-year-old boy. Alex and Priya had gotten married just last summer by the lake in a ceremony straight out of a Pinterest board. And then there were Devin and Casey, the poster couple. Their wedding was just around the corner, set for the second weekend in February. Everything felt stable, familiar, safe, until it wasn't. As was customary, the bachelor and bachelorette parties were planned for the same night, one weekend before the wedding. Devin, ever the respectful fiancé, made it clear up front. No crazy stuff. Casey said absolutely no dancers, no shady nonsense. Just a chill night with the guys. We gave him a hard time, naturally. Come on, man, I teased, clapping him on the shoulder. We practically fast-tracked your marriage just for the bachelor party. He laughed. There's 4 of us. Give us enough to drink, and we'll come up with 4 terrible ideas on our own. It'll be fun, just a different kind. That Saturday, the 4 of us headed downtown in a cab to a stylish cocktail lounge, the kind of place with designer drinks, velvet couches, pool tables, and a soundtrack that bounced between early 2000s alt-rock and nostalgic hip-hop. The women had their own plans. They'd reserved a private karaoke suite at a high-end hotel bar. Elena and I texted a bit early in the evening, playful, light. Around 9:30, I gave her a quick call. How's the madness going over there? She laughed. Wild already. Casey just won some ridiculous game, popped all the balloons fastest. Got a bottle of brandy as a prize. Chasing it with champagne? I asked, laughing. Of course, she chuckled. That's a chemical disaster. You all will be out cold by midnight. Not if I beat them to it, she teased before hanging up. About an hour later, I called again. This time, something felt off. Her words were slurred. Her tone, flat and unsteady. Everything all right? I asked. Yeah, we're good. Just the girls. She sounded clipped, defensive. You sure? I tried to make it sound like a joke. Kinda sounds like there's a guy or 2 in the mix. It's just us, she snapped, then abruptly ended the call. I stared at the phone for a moment, unsettled. Maybe it was the alcohol. Maybe a guy worked at the karaoke bar. I tried not to overthink it. Back at the lounge, we kept the night rolling. Drinks, old stories from high school, even a few laughs about how Devin and Casey first met at some corporate retreat years ago. We left the bar around 3 a.m., exhausted but still joking around. When I got home, Elena still wasn't there. Her phone went straight to voicemail. At 4:15, the front door banged open, followed by a loud crash. I shot out of bed. She stood in the doorway, heels in one hand, dress rumpled, hair a tangled mess. The scent of brandy and unfamiliar perfume clung to her. Where have you been? Why didn't you answer your phone? I asked. She stumbled in. Phone died. I'm fine. Then collapsed on the bed, fully dressed, and passed out instantly. I barely slept. My head throbbed. Every creak in the apartment echoed like a drumbeat. At 7 a.m., my phone rang. It was Devin. His voice was tight. Angry. Elena home? Yeah. Got back maybe 3 hours ago. Completely wasted. Can she talk? Not a chance. She's out cold. He let out a bitter groan. In the background, I heard shouting. Something slammed. Glass shattered. You don't know what happened last night, he said through clenched teeth. They lied to us. All of them. Check your phone. Then he hung up. With a pit in my stomach, I opened my messages. A flood of photos had just come in. Elena, Casey, Lauren, Priya, all of them in a luxury hotel suite, surrounded by half-naked male strippers. But it wasn't just their presence, it was what the women were doing. Touching, kissing, climbing onto them. Some of the images were impossible to unsee. My hands turned to ice. I just stared, paralyzed. My chest tightened like my lungs forgot how to work. Devon called again. "You saw it?" "Yeah," I whispered, my voice barely there. "There's a video. One of the dancers filmed the whole thing. You want it?" "No," I muttered. "The pictures are more than enough." I grabbed a hoodie and stepped outside into the cold, hoping the numbness in my fingers would climb higher, dull everything. When I came back in, I walked straight to the bedroom. "Get up. Pack your things. You need to leave." She opened her eyes slowly, still groggy. "What are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about." She started denying. "It's not like that. It's not what it looks like." I held out my phone and showed her the photos. That ended the lies. She didn't say another word. Just quietly packed and walked out less than an hour later. Later that afternoon, Devon sent a group message to everyone invited to the wedding. "Weddings cancelled. If you want to know why, ask Casey." We never got the full story of what happened between them afterward. But what we did know was enough to blow our entire world apart. 3 out of 4 couples fell apart in the weeks that followed. Casey moved back in with her parents. Elena tried texting me a few times, but I blocked her. Matt and Lauren quietly split. Priya left town altogether. All that remained was the 4 of us, newly single men, trying to make sense of how everything we trusted could disintegrate in a single night. On the Friday the wedding was supposed to happen, we ended up at the bar down the street from where the ceremony should have taken place. No one said anything for a long time. We just sat in silence, staring into our drinks. The only sound was the soft clinking of ice in our glasses. Finally, Devon broke the silence. "You know what's messed up," he said. "We never even had a proper bachelor party." We all gave a tired laugh. And right there, in that strange quiet moment, we raised our glasses. Not to marriage, not to friendship, but to surviving the fallout, to facing the truth, to beginning again. One reckless night didn't just end a wedding. It shattered everything.